Hey, good morning, kids. Hey, good morning, kids. How's everybody out there in YouTube land this morning? I am one tired pup. Did not get much sleep last night. Can't even speak right. Michael blew through really big winds. Really big winds. I finally fell asleep about 2 a.m. But boat bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Big waves breaking through. The docks here were awash. Water over the top of the land here. The storm surge lifted my boat up. Here I was bragging about how cool this spot was because I was down protected by the dock. Sure enough, as I thought, the storm surge raised me up and the boat. No damage, though. Nothing to write home about. Little scuffs and stuff on the dock, but nothing really major. Hey, Dick. Hey, Frank. So we survived Michael. Now today, I'm undoing the web of lines that we had. I'm halfway across, walking over here to go undo the lines we got across the harbor. I don't know if you can see that. There's the Lily. She's up and around in front of that boat there. But there's the lines going across how we had it tied across the harbor here. This little harbor, but there was no room for any other boat to come in around. The harbor master said, "Go ahead and put those lines across to secure ourselves." So we did. Hey, Dave G, how you doing? So anyhow, bouncy night, worrisome night, huge winds, big rains blowing through. I have no idea how. Yeah, I stayed on board. I stayed on board the boat all night. I had to. I didn't have a choice. When the storm surge came in, it raised something I hadn't thought about, but it raised the boat up so high. Hey, Mike Mayfield, and then those lines going across the harbor to the other side pulled the Lily 2 off the dock far enough. I couldn't reach the dock. I couldn't step across. And I was concerned that if I tried to step across, Miss Lily certainly wouldn't have made it across. Because the way we had the lines, and then the storm surge lifted us up. Where the lines were, the boat was down and close over to the dock. But as the water raised up, all my lines between me and the pilings then became longer because they no longer had the angle. And next thing I know, I'm 3.5, 4 feet off the dock. So couldn't get to the dock. That's why I didn't have a live stream last night. I literally couldn't step off the boat onto the dock to get over to the office, which is right there, to go do the live stream from that. So we just decided to ride it out right there on the boat. So now, had push come to shove and things got really ugly, I guess we could have used the ropes, pulled ourselves back over tighter, and gotten the dog and me off the boat. So yes, fixed docks here, Dave. And yeah, you can see this dock on this side was all awash. Every wave was breaking over the top of it. Out at the bulkhead of our dock, there was a little bit of water up there, but the water was about this close. Actually, it was there 2x4 or 2x6 boards on the dock, and the bottom of the board was getting wet and having water kind of. I don't know if you've ever seen a wave up underneath the dock, but it shoots these little spurts of water up between the boards as it goes by. It was high enough that it was doing that last night. So we were all right though. We were fine. Yep, it sounds like it was a rough night. It has passed us by, and we're fine. We're absolutely fine. Missing a lot of sleep, but we're absolutely fine. So, and of course now I'm going to be sleep deprived as I'm turning into the engine compartment. I don't know if that's probably a good thing. So we can start tearing into that and finding out what the hell's going on with that alternator. So, yeah, Lily had no problem sleeping through it. She took her signal from me that everything was fine. I went ahead and arranged the cockpit back into a bedroom, and I stretched out at about 11 o'clock or noon or midnight rather last night, and just laid there and bounced around trying to fall asleep. And she took that as her cue that everything was okay, and she just went to bed. So. No, Mike, I have an alternator issue. I have to work on the alternator. The boat won't start. So I have to figure out what that is. So I may be here for a day or two today. Today Thursday. So hopefully I'll be able to get this thing figured out and get the parts sourced and whatever it is I need. I'm hoping I'll be able to figure that all out today. Nice, calm, beautiful weather. Boat's sitting perfectly still. Tied up here at the dock. We're gonna work on it. Yeah, hand crank it. I need to get the alternator fixed so it'll start. I could probably hand crank it and get it to start, but you know I'm not gonna plan on doing that from here to Florida. So yeah, today's Friday. Okay, see, I am tired. Yeah, so if I get it all apart today, I probably am not going to be able to do much now till Monday. So I may be stuck here for a couple of days. So, but we're going to get on it this morning first thing. Yesterday was all about getting ourselves tied down. Had an impromptu provisioning run, which I really wasn't expecting yesterday, but the guys docked next to me wanted to go do that. And so this morning right now we're unlacing all the lines, untying everything, trying to get the boats untethered down to the normal just bow and stir line and spring lines. I'm eliminating all of the duplicity that I had. Because I had doubled up all the lines, plus added a much bigger main spring line back and forth, and then plus I took two big heavy anchor lines and went across the harbor. So I was really stitched in. So I was really stitched in nice. So yeah, there's a parts store here, Mike, and I was told by the towboat guy that there's a business here in town that might be able to rebuild my alternator. So we're going to find out about that. Milkshake was great, thanks. Crank it just for the experience. Yeah, Dick, you're absolutely right. I will get it started today. Well, hopefully I'll hand crank it and see if it'll start. So we'll try that, but I just wanted to check in this morning, let everybody know that we're alive and well and doing fine. We're here in this little covered over shed area. I'm surprised with all that wind and everything. These tables didn't move. I'm kind of surprised because man, it was really blowing last night. I know the garbage cans are gone. They had garbage cans out here on the dock, and I don't know where they are, but they were gone. Our power went out last night, and the power company was right here. I mean, like the power went out, and I sat down below and was like, okay, well, the power's out. That's to be expected in a storm, you know, not a big deal. I could run whatever I needed off the 12 volt for a little bit. From what I can see, I've not seen any damage. I don't see any trees down or anything. There was a couple sailboats all the way out there in the front, one of which had broken its bow lines and was really bouncing around. It's still floating this morning. I'm kind of surprised at that. So it still seems to be floating this morning. I'm hoping they'll get out there and get more lines on it, but it busted loose. And then there was a whole big crew of people over here in the Belhaven Marina, about 8 people working on a big yacht there that was bouncing up against the pilings. And so they were trying to put all kinds of fenders and stuff against it, and a bunch of guys were out there working on it in the middle of the rain and stuff last night. So feels good though just to be able to relax now and say, okay, that's over with now. I can get to the mechanic work. So, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on the mechanic work. Michael is no match for a seasoned sailor. Oh, I disagree with that, man. I disagree with that. That was a pretty nasty storm last night. And there are some boats that were here locally that I talked to. The guys that I was tied up to or anchored next to that offered me help the other morning. Just seagulls. There's seagulls here, sharpshooter, a bunch of them. They went up in one of the remote anchorages here and dropped the hook last night. So I hope they survived that okay. So I would not have wanted to be in that storm on an anchor. I don't trust my anchor enough for that, and I would not have wanted all of that. So yeah, they are kind of noisy. They're a whole bunch of them. You can see them here on the pilings, the top of the pilings, on top of the lights out there. There's a big field. There's a bunch of them out there in the field. So there's a bunch of them carrying on. So well, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'm gonna go get Miss Lily and take her for a walk around over the other side and untie the lines we got across the harbor so we can open that back up again. I've never seen a boat, any other boats coming and going here. There's a bridge right here, and supposedly there's some people up on the other side of that bridge that use this, that bring boats back and forth. They duck underneath that bridge apparently. But you know, if they duck underneath that bridge, they can duck underneath our ropes too. My ropes anyway are not even wet. They're up high out of the water, so they have that much tension on them still. Anyhow, I'm gonna go get Miss Lily, take her for a walk, go get those lines untied, and start digging into the engine compartment. So we'll have more for you later, kids. I just want to let everybody know we're alive and well and doing fine here. So working on the nautical flag t-shirts today for the store. Hey, there you go, Frank. That's awesome. That'd be cool. All right, well, I'll have more for you later, kids. Be good and be careful. Take good care of one another. And should you want to contribute to the adventure, in the description down below, there's links to my PayPal and Patreon. All funds are greatly appreciated, especially right now. I'm going to have to put some money into the boat, I'm afraid. So anyhow, we'll have more for you later, kids.